Hey everybody, Texas Stroker here, Lance's Performance Shop, Lone Star, Mopars.com. But it's Thursday night, and I think I've hit a point where I can make this video. I know what you're thinking. You're like, hey, I remember seeing this stuff. This was AR Tools, conveniently with the stickers that sent this out, along with Uli, the Joy of Tools, right? And that would be correct. So Uli would have been the guy located in Germany, sent these sweet rebranded NWS pliers. From what I understand, it's like Lux, sort of like a line carried by one of their big box stores. And then the same thing over here with a little Philo. Pretty nice little dry wraps there. And again, the big thing, they're both like alternate color schemes, which of course happen to be in my favorite, black and blue. AR Tools sent these over. They're the stainless Philo drivers. These have since been discontinued, so they're kind of hard to come by. And of course, you can't let like a good deed go undone, right? So AR was sort of like the middleman, you know. I guess Uli was sending him stuff anyway. Sent that along for him to kind of finalize and send over, and then he throws that in there. And I think I touched on this in that video, but these are two people that are like super into tools, right? And that makes it kind of hard, you know, like with the average person. You know, if I had a coworker gonna retire, you know, I could come in and I could get him, you know, like a multi-bit driver from VHA or Vera. We could get them, you know, like the twin grips, and we could send them home with, you know, Stavilla ratchet, and they're like blown away. They've never seen the stuff. You know, they're hopefully super pleased with it. That's kind of hard to do. Number one, with Uli being in Germany, you know, that's sort of his like MO. He's been around the stuff his entire life. AR being sort of like a, you know, tool fanatic collector guy. He's got stuff, he uses stuff, and then he's got a bunch that's just like super cool and rare. And so I was kind of having a difficult time. I had some things in mind because for Uli, he specifically requested like he would prefer American stuff. Let's say I have like some odd duck VHA screwdriver, you know, that he doesn't have. Not really that exciting because he's in Germany, right? So he kind of spec'd out America, and that might be a theme that we overdid, but I think this will be stuff that he doesn't have, that he should appreciate. And if it's something that you just like totally hate or can't use, it is at least collectible. Same thing with AR. This is a deal where, you know, you want to have something that, you know, if people want to use it, they can, but if they just want to collect it, they can do that. And the biggest thing between the two of them, how in the world do I come in and get these guys stuff that they either don't have or don't know about? And I think I've done that, and I'm pretty proud of it tentatively. This could be like terrible. I might have done, you know, like a terrible attempt to make those things all align, but as best I can tell, you know, granted, I wasn't on Instagram for a really long time, so like if people do stuff in stories, you know, there's no way for me to like go back and see all that. But I went back through all the posts, and I think that I've done something that we can be proud to send on. So essentially what I will be doing is the reverse of Uli. Everything will leave Texas. It will go to the Bronx where AR is, and then he's got some stuff, I guess, to send over to Uli as well, so that'll leave there and trek off over to Germany. So while I'm filming this, it's like a super balmy late July night. I don't know when it's going to get to, like, I don't know if AR's got everything lined up and I'm the holdup. I don't know if he's going to keep thinking of things. And I honestly have no clue like what the transit time would be across the Atlantic and into Germany. I don't know if customs holds things up. So they could have this stuff in 2 weeks, or it could be Halloween. I don't know. But I'll try to hold the video off until they've hopefully gotten it and gotten to enjoy it, or be like, dude, I already had all that. What do I do with it? And so I also have someone to thank in this for supplying some of this, but we will cover that when we get to it. So I'm trying to think how I should go about doing this, and I guess we'll, this is kind of confusing because I could do them simultaneously, or I could do them standalone, and I think we might just have to do this. So, right here. Oh yeah. Some of you already know what this is. I've never made videos on these things. A while back, I think it was last year actually, Klein Tools released 4 items in the American Legacy series. Okay, you basically had them staggered monthly, I believe. This was like at the time, you know, if you're like an electrician, you're an electrical supplier, the guys call on you, you know, sell you stuff, they've got it. It is now, and I didn't really notice this until I was like trying to track some other missing pieces down, like it's stupid expensive. And luckily, you know, I had suppliers that had this stuff, but like if you go on eBay right now, like this stuff is insane. So from that standpoint, they can feel comfortable, A, using these if they would like to, or B, just collecting them. You know, like AR can go take sweet pictures, you know, off of rivers. Uli can do whatever he wants to with them. It's sort of one of those deals. If you know you want to take them out, appreciate them, and keep them mint condition, you can do that. You want to leave them in the packaging, that's an option. Or if you just intend to make them daily use, that is totally fine too. That's kind of the cool thing with a gift, I suppose. But these are Klein Tools American Legacy, and if you can't tell, okay, we got the red, white, and blue going on. So you got an end cap with the USA. You've got the plus over here for the Phillips. You've got the slotted with minus over there for the slotted. That corresponds with the tips. Red acetate, blue grips, white end caps. Just kind of a cool little deal, right? So that will be going to AR. We're doing AR first, all right? Let's see here. Where do I want to go next? Now, something, I've never seen AR with those. If he has them, I sincerely apologize. Something else I've never seen AR with, and this may wind up getting, I've not released the video yet, so no one knows about it that would follow me. And I'm hoping that this is something he would be unaware of. I've got him this, okay? If you're like, what is that? That doesn't look like anything neat or fancy. Well, it's something that I think would be useful, okay? So what it is, it's a extension. I should have brought the one that I already have and I've opened and have been using because it's amazing. This is a 1/4" drive flexible extension from Koken. I'm thinking by the time I just got some Koken stuff in today, this was not it. I already had it here for him. The stuff that came in today was actually from Father's Day, and it like took over a month to get here. But I want you to pay attention to how flexible that is, which is insane. This side would mate up to your 1/4 drive tool, whether that's a ratchet, you know, or a bit driver or whatever you might have. This side over here is the business end that'll take a socket. If that's what you want to do with it, you've got great access. And then right here, this thing, you're like, okay, you got them like a little socket. Is that going to be where you can adapt it to bits? I bet you did that, didn't you? You just made it to where you can get little bits. That's a little crazy. Well, let me show you. So this side right here is your square drive, right, which would plug into the extension. And then you're like, oh, it's a bit driver. And then some of you are like, wait, no, that's like way out too far. What's the deal? And if you listen, you should know that sound, right? And what this is, if I grab this guy, it's a magnet. And I cannot tell you how useful this has been for me. At this point in time, I've probably been using this for like 4 to 5 weeks, I would say, and it is a sweet little setup. I basically use it almost entirely as a retrieval tool. So the way it works, this would mate up with the flexible extension, and I just honestly hold this side over here. It's got good length to it. It's also got the knurling that I like, and I'm able to go in and I can articulate it. Number one, like, think of dropping like a nut off of a stud on exhaust manifolds or something, right? You get this up against, especially if they're aluminum, you don't have to worry about the magnet sticking, and it just kind of bends into place and you retrieve your item. The magnet is quite strong. The other thing, of course, it's just a really freaking good flexible, like the flex on this extension is actually worthy of being called flexible. So many times you buy a flex extension and it's like, it goes from 180 degrees to that. And it's like, look at the accessibility, and you're like, yeah, that's really not what I'd hoped for, right? Well, this is insane. I don't want to like stretch it and flex it too much for him, but these are both obviously from Koken. Again, sadly, I think that video will have to release before this gets to him, but on the flip, you know what? No, it won't, because he's in New York, so he'll have this stuff, so we're home free. I'll hold out specifically on that Koken video for him. I don't know what that is, but I guess he gets to keep it. And let's slide this in here as well. So if you're curious about that thing and I haven't already released my video, you'll see it soon. If not, you know, AR might have some pictures of it. Who knows? Now, the next thing is this. And we'll wait to open that, and then I'm going to throw this down. I sit here and I think, how can I package this? You always hear me, you know, anytime I unbox things, I'm like, oh, the packaging, oh, the presentation. You know, they put a lot of thought into this one, you know. It's little things people don't typically think about or care about. But if you're somebody that, like, you know, fills orders and packs for the customers and ships it out, you know, like, you think about these things. And so, yeah, all this stuff, I could throw it in a box, packing paper, fold it over, wrap it, throw in, you know, like air bubble mailer stuff or packing peanuts, styrofoam, whatever. And that's all fine and good, gets it there undamaged, hopefully. But wouldn't it be cool if somebody put extra thought into things, you know? And that's actually where this comes in. And this, you're like, oh, it's a Klein tools bag. I guess that's kind of cool. You're thinking, you got in the screwdrivers, that thing should fit in there, right? That thing came out of it, whatever that is that you don't know. And you're 100% correct. It will fit in there, and it's cool, but this is the special one. This is the American Legacy deal. I kind of went with red for AR. I don't know if I'm, like, butchering that or not, but looking back at his post, it's like, I don't know if it's something he prefers or just a lot of what he gets in. I thought, nah, I think red's safe. So that's what I did. My apologies, there's like 4 four-wheelers and an irate woman on a golf cart, and there's been 2 loose dogs. I had to save 2 middle-aged ladies and a kid from the dogs. Get home from work, that's what I deal with. It's fantastic. Last night I was out on the driveway with Sander. Luckily I wasn't ambushed by the dogs. But it's kind of hard to keep your train of thought when you have constant rumbling from hellacious hellions on 4-wheelers, right? Anyway, this is the American Legacy edition, so it's kind of cool in that effect. You can use this, you can store stuff in it. If he's going to go like rumble on down somewhere to take pictures of tools, you can throw them all in there and carry more. You know, just have to keep up with one thing. Nothing too crazy about it, but it is a pretty nice bag. It's a little oversized compared to some of the others, so it's got that working for it. And if you're curious, this stuff all absolutely fits in there. Now, we're not quite done with AR, but I'm going to bring something out, I guess, towards the end. And if you're sitting there, if you know anything about the Klein American Legacy, you know that these zipper bags were a 2-piece deal. I'm thinking like, well, where's the other one? It's right here. This will be for Uli. I could be butchering this. Maybe he would prefer red and AR would like blue. I don't know. You know, they can sort that out, I guess, amongst themselves. But it's just kind of how I thought it would be. And again, since Uli said, like, you know, I really want some, you know, like traditional American stuff. Well, you know, I think we covered that. So might be too American. Who knows? You know, next time you might be like, oh, just send me something, man. This time, though, we're going all in on the American theme. So he's getting the blue bag, AR gets red, and if I take you in here and you're thinking like, okay, well, you know, he sent you screwdrivers, you're probably sending him screwdrivers. 100% same thing for Uli. I wish I could have gotten this in a posi. That way I think he could at least like use it more. The slotted, I thought he might actually wind up using it more. I know he's into furniture and woodworking. I don't quite know what the hardware conditions would be like overseas. I don't know if it's all Torx or posi or slotted is still common on hinges, or if it's antique, you know, maybe you can use the slotted. But same thing, if he wants to keep these as collectibles, got that base covered. If he wants to use them, got that base covered. It's Klein. Matthias Klein, of course, was a German immigrant to America, so you got that tie-in. I've sort of covered sending German tools to the guy in Germany, but they're American tools. These are Mansfield, Texas, which is also cool. And it's the classic Klein. Like, this is what I use at work. Not American Legacy, of course, but yellow acetate, black handle. It's what I cut my teeth on. If you go way, way, way back, before we'd even done KC Tool Haul number 1, brought in, you know, another set of Klein drivers. And that's where I think these are going to shine. It's something that he hopefully hasn't experienced. And these are 100% American, 100% made in Texas, if I'm not mistaken. And it's collectible as well. So if you hate them, they've at least got like the collectability value. And then if you wind up loving them, you've got these, and it's a deal. If he's like, man, that's the best driver I've ever used, me or AR or somebody can send over like standard ones. These can stay mint condition. Best of both worlds, right? At least I think so. So let's kind of get the AR pile over here. So he's got the Koken kind of flex extension and the Klein drivers with the red bag. And then Uli, we've replicated the Klein drivers, the blue bag. And we're going to do this. We'll throw that to the side. You probably know what that is. And I'm going to grab this right here. I wanted to get him a classic acetate handle driver because I know they have them in Germany, you know, like the Heikos and stuff like that. Philo Red, I'm sure you might have some from back in the day from VHA, but probably doesn't have Channellock. And this is something, it adds faculty to what we've given them. These are standard 4-inch, 100mm shafts in the Kleins. And then this little stubby, I truly wanted to get him the 4-inch here. And again, they didn't have posi available either, but this is a classic acetate handle. It's made in America. It's from Channellock, which is another American brand, right? I thought it would look good, ties in with the blue bag, and it's just kind of a neat little driver. And again, you got the full length and you got a stubby, and they're both intrinsically American. So we have that covered. If we come in here, we've got this strange little thing here. So Uli gets blue, AR gets red. They both got the drivers. Uli gets a stubby, AR gets the Koken extension. Again, works awesome as a standalone magnetic retrieval tool. And now we're going to get into the item that was provided by someone. And I'm just going to throw these down. These are Alpha gloves. They're what you see me wearing all the time. You can use the discount code LONESTAR to save 20% on them. And they have been fantastic. If you know, my thumb got pulled into a bandsaw, crushed it, still don't really, it looks pretty good, I'm not going to lie. You know, it's almost been 3 years now, by the way. Doesn't seem that long. Don't have feeling, can't grip things well, but it looks okay, right? You know, if I were to grab like that Klein driver and hold it down, it like makes an impression in my thumb. It seems like I've been squeezing the snot out of something for 3 consecutive hours. It's just like deformed in that sense. Is the best way to explain it. Looks decent though, but that's why I'm always in these. I was trying the, you know, guy that did the stitches and everything and was debating if I needed surgery. He was like, oh, you need to wear gloves. Story in a nutshell. I asked what gloves. He had no idea. I said, like mechanic style. He said, yeah, that would be fine. And then I'm like, well, you know, they surely make something like special for this. I started contacting glove people. People would just ignore it, give me the runaround, say that they couldn't recommend anything or give medical, just, you know, like BS legal answers. And then I had seen an ad for Alpha in Jegs, I believe, and that's how I contacted Alpha. I talked right to Josh, the guy that runs the company. He listened to the story. He felt terrible for me. He had stories from other people he knew, and he sent out tons of gloves. And they've been amazing. We'll eventually do a recap on the pairs I have managed to wear out finally. Definitely think I got my money's worth, and they're always on me, right, on this hand. So it just kind of became a thing, you know. There for a while was because I was supposed to do it, and then it's just kind of a thing now. So sort of like the Michael Jackson of tools or something. But my thoughts were, number one, it gets both of these guys awesome gloves, and number two, they watch the videos, like it's almost like now you've got a part of the action here, right? So on the color front, I could totally butcher this. I might screw it over. Same thing with the size. If I like totally bomb the size, I don't know if these guys have like giant hands and need like a 2XL, or gloves don't fit, or they have small hands and need like a small, I don't know. I personally feel like large is the safest thing to do. It's gonna fit like medium-sized hands, maybe with just a little extra. It'll probably fit like what's really an extra large size. I just felt like it was the safest. Extra large, you come in and you've got like all that slop. Medium, you know, like sometimes you can't get it on and it's painful and it hurts your hand. So if somehow I screwed this up, and this is what I told Josh, I'm a man of my words, I will come in and I will buy them. And at that point in time, they can also pick colors, okay, from what's available. But like if AR's got like monster mints and Uli does too, and they need like an extra large, that's on me. I'll take care of it. But these were sent out by Josh. I don't have any, like, I bought all this other stuff, but this is from Josh to these guys. And I kind of told him, like, hey, what do you think of having some of your gloves in Germany? So, Uli gets green, AR gets red. It ties in, obviously, with the bag. The green and the blue looks cool, at least in my opinion. The red looks great with the red bag. It ties in with the screwdrivers for both of them. And like I said, it's kind of funny. If you, like, if I was one of those people that did more of a vlog style and I always had, like, this trashy Mopar hat on, and I somehow, you know, like had a bunch in reserve, I'd send that out and be like, oh, it's that stupid hat he wears all the time. So here we go with the Alpha gloves, right? So like I said, if these don't fit y'all, tell me, I'll replace them. You know, that's on me. We'll ship them out, whatever. The colors, again, I hope I'm doing okay. But the main thing here, like even if AR is like, oh, I hate red and black, you just use them. Use them, get your use out of them. I think you will like them. They've been fantastic to me. Again, the 20%, that does nothing for me. That just helps you get good gloves. I genuinely believe in them. That's why I wear them. That's why I constantly rebuy them. And that's why I went to Josh and said, hey, you know, how about we send some gloves to these two dudes? So that's what we did. On that note, he also sent out some other things. He sent me some replacement gloves. I'm going to make a standalone. There's still, believe it or not, I have not tried everything from Alpha. I'm getting closer to it. We'll have that video coming up. Something else he sent out that he didn't have back when I first had the thumb injury is these cut-resistant gloves. These are, you see these all the time, you know, similar styles. You know, they've got sort of, the palms on these are actually pretty nice. They've got the tack to them. So like it's, if you're working with something oily, slippery, wet, whatever, they provide better grip, and then they're sort of cut resistant, right, for a safety standpoint. So both of those guys get a pair of those as well. And then we get to the next item, and I wanted to do something that they probably don't know exists. That was one of my goals. I wanted to get something that would just like blow their minds. Now, whether they like this, hate it, use it all the time, put stuff in it, but don't really have an application for it, I don't know. But when you stop and you're like, you know, think about it, you know, like if Autobahn Dan and Midwest Tool Reviews send you stuff at Christmas, it's hard to give someone like that something that they need, that they don't have, and that they would use, right? And that's kind of where this stuff comes in. Again, like I said, with Uli being in Germany, that like kills off the whole German side. Like that would be, if I'm dealing with somebody local, you know, like, you know, one of my electrical suppliers I was talking to a couple weeks ago about Knipex stuff, and he finds on the side of the road, I could get him some crud from Stavilla or Hazette, and it would blow his mind. He's never seen it, never used it, he's gonna love it, and it would be sweet. Very difficult to do that, right? Like, I guess I'm kind of the same way, you know, like in terms of you've got so much, or you've brought so much in, it becomes more and more difficult to be like, oh, this guy's never seen one of these before. So I hope that these will be useful for them. I think they might be, and it worked out really well. I'm glad I double checked with AR. I said, hey man, do you use like SAE or metric more? He actually, I was thinking he would be a metric dude, and he actually said SAE. Uli, he's in Germany. I'm just gonna assume, I don't like to spoil or tip things off too much, so I'm assuming metric would be the safe bet. If I'm wrong there, that's like a legit mistake. But we'll open these up, and I'll never get this wrapped up ever the same, but I'm just gonna put it like this. And you're thinking like, oh, you know, what is that? Is it, I probably can't say the word or I'll get like censored by YouTube, but some of you are probably thinking like, oh, that kind of looks like something that would go pew pew pew, right? No, although it does have that cool effect, and you'll think like, how did you pick these colors, you freak? You've given him red and this like mustard yellow anodized thing, and then he gets like a weird orange. Why? You know, my eyes can't take it. Well, let me flip this over. Some of you, I think a very few of you, will know that logo, at least on the chance. Nothing, I've got the stuff here. I've had this stuff for a long time, like 6+ months, maybe closer to a year. I've never gotten to make the video on it yet. So it's something that they won't have seen on my channel, even though I've got it here. And if you're thinking like, hey, you know, like, I think I've seen that stuff. What does that say? Fire, you know, Beavis and Butthead, right? No, Fireball Tool. And some of you are like, Fireball Tool, I think I've heard of that. And some of you are like, oh, Fireball Tool, yeah. You know, it's the guy that makes all the, you know, crazy vices and fixturing and stuff. That's 100% correct. If you haven't seen that stuff, you're welcome to check it out. They've got, spoiler alert, I've got a lot of their pliers and squares and clamps and things. They've all been super good to me. Just, I've not made the video that hasn't really structured out the way I do things. But what these are, if you didn't know, and I think some people that even follow the channel might not know, meaning Fireball Tool, this is designed to do one thing, and it does it with SAE, and that's designed to do one thing, and it does it with metric. And if you're sitting there and you're like, 0.05, 16th, 7/64, eighth, 3/16, quarter, 5/16, 3, what's the deal? What's that thing in there? There's like a spring around it. And what is this? Well, let's grab this coupling nut, right? You recognize that sound from the Koken deal, and see how my hands are here and it's there? That's a magnet, all right? And you're thinking like, well, what's going on with this one? Well, it's the sweet orange anodizing. I happen to like it. 1.5, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10. It's got the spring. It's got a magnet as well. And if you're thinking like, okay, what are they going to do with this? Well, this is designed to hold hex keys. And take your mind, if you will, away from what you're used to with like Vera, you know, whether it's the pouch or whether it's, you know, the clip. Take your mind away from Craftsman, where it's just like all thrown into a plastic bag. Take your mind off of VHA, even the Ergo Star holders, right, that are super trick. Picture the hex keys going in here. And if you're thinking like, why would you do that? Like, look at this profile. You're gonna like take up the whole drawer. You're gonna have to put this in a deep drawer now. This is a terrible gift. What's your problem, man? Well, think back to the magnet. And now, again, keep your mind clear and think of reorienting things. So instead of like sliding the hex key all the way, I don't know what size this is, but it's sitting here. So we'll just stick it in one that I think it'll fit in, like the 1/8, okay? If I slide this in like that, okay, that fits, and you're 100% correct. To put it in a drawer, now I can't fit it in like one of the short drawers. It has to go in a deeper drawer. But watch this. If I make this flush, also note that it holds the hex key, right? Which is kind of cool. Now think about this. If they've got a metal work surface, or if AR is like climbing a ladder somewhere and there's like a steel beam, this can then magnetize to the side of the beam. If Uli is working in a cabinet or something and he's got like a metal workbench, you put this again flush and that's magnetized. It keeps the hex keys standing upright. I realize it's sort of hard to see the size markings through the camera lens, but rest assured, like if you were here, this is very, very visible. Almost even more so than some of the stuff you're used to from the German companies. So it's a total different take on it. It's not the flat clip, it doesn't fold out, it's not a pouch with Velcro. It's magnetized, it holds them upright, and it's honestly ideal for like a worktop situation. If you've got a steel-topped bench or toolbox that you're constantly rolling around working on things, this keeps your keys at hand, easy to access, and easy to extract. So this is something, since I've not made the video, and I don't know, since these guys are both kind of more into hand tools, I don't know of either one of them welding. I'm not sure that they would have either one seen this from Fireball Tool. So I think that's sort of like my super secret surprise no one would expect gift, and I hope that they find it useful and unique, you know, type of a thing. Josh at Alpha outdid himself. He sent these out. Again, if I screwed up the sizes, if I screwed up the colors, I can correct it. But we've got the cut resistance and the vibes. Again, this is my personal favorite. It'll be interesting to see if they like that or not. Some people might hate having the impact protection. I personally love it. Again, if AR hates red and Uli hates green, use them, get them dirty. They can be like your beater pair of gloves if you just wear for nasty stuff. I think they will like them. I certainly hope they do. Backtracking, they each get the American Legacies. Uli is going to get the Channellock acetates. Another neat item for AR that I'm thinking he won't have is this right here. It's not like groundbreaking. It's not like, oh, they released the, you know, quarter drive, you know, Zeal versions. This is sort of more under the table, lesser known, if you will, so I think you'll enjoy that. And I have one more thing for Uli, and it's kind of to offset the sweet NWS ergos that he sent me, and it's right here. Oh yeah. So you're looking at this and you're like, that's the American Legacy again. Yep, it is. These are Linesmen's pliers, right? This is intrinsically American. Now, this design, even if Knipex makes these, if any plier manufacturer makes these from overseas, it's the American pattern, you know, or the New England pattern. This is an American-based tool, if you will. That's something that you're way more likely to see over here. You're not near as likely to see across the pond. And in addition to that, I realize, like, you know, he's the woodworker, might not use these. They're going to be really good pliers. They've got cutting capabilities. And if you hate them and they have no utility for you, they're collectible. So again, I think I've done okay. I'm going to go ahead and time this out. I didn't want that to cut me off when I was rambling on about it, but I want to highlight some stuff on these that I think he's going to think is pretty cool. They look terrible in the packaging. I also have to tell you, I am going to have to, it looks like it would fit, but it doesn't when I try it. Maybe if I didn't have any other stuff in there, but these will 100% fit side to side if I take them out of the packaging. So I think I'm gonna like wrap them up and do that, but I want to send the packaging too in case he wants to keep them in there. And what we've got though, this is laser etched with the American flag. You got Old Glory there. This is just, it looks bad because of the joint, right, and the grease. But the handles on these, I didn't realize how cool the handles were until these came in. If that looks like it's extra thick dipped, you know, like double layer dip if you will, but then it has like a metallic blue, that's because it does. So you've got like your white layer and then you've got the over dip in blue, and it's sweet. It's super, super cool. These are dirty. I don't know how that happened. I think we can clean that. But it's just a super awesome set. There's kind of a look at what they've got. The other thing, I think I'll have to open these. I do apologize to Uli, but it's just, if I grab this, I think you'll kind of see what I mean. It's just like they're not going to go in the bag. I've tried and tried and I could never fit them. So I'm going to wrap them up so they don't get like grease or oil on everything. But I want to showcase this in case some of you are unaware. I have Klein Linesmen. They're just really old. I've never made a video on them. And this is one of the things, all right, that I think he's going to like. Not the sloppy joint, you know, that we'll clean up before we send them. But right here, okay, number one, like I said, he can cut. So we've got that covered. If he needs to cut nails or something, these are heavy, heavy pliers. Different than Knipex. But this is what I always talk about. This is what I always love. Whether it's Channellock, the few times Knipex does it, you hear me rave about it. I love crosshatch jaws. They just grip better. This is something that I don't think it's very common over there either. And I hope it will come in handy for him, whether he's like pulling on something, maybe there's staples or old nails or the heads have come off, brad nails, I don't know. But I hope that they grip good for him and that he finds use. It's pretty aggressive coming from Klein, so I hope that that works well for him. And then like I said, he does have the ability to cut. So whether you want to utilize these, you know, throw them into action, whether you want to have them as collectible items, the handles are amazing. I hope that he likes those. I think the camera is actually even picking up on it. I may have to try and clean that for him. I feel bad that they're dirty, but that's just how they came in. I'm not about to set them down on that bag though. That would be a tragedy. So this is what I did. That's what I've got. I had some other things in mind, but like items were on like ridiculous lead times. I didn't want to hold up AR. I wanted them to be able to ship the stuff when he wanted to. And I think we did okay. I think this is some pretty cool stuff. So the plan is to fit everything in these bags for these guys. So the cut resistant gloves, the alphas, red and green, both of them get the American Legacy drivers. Both of them get a Fireball Tool Hex Key Holder. And if you're curious, like I didn't pick yellow for AR and orange for Uli. That's just how they come. That's your only color option. So I went SAE and I went metric. That's how that panned out. Uli gets the acetate handle number 2. And yeah, I think we did okay. So hopefully these guys will like this stuff and find it useful. Again, we've got a couple of items. Like I don't think they know of this, the Fireball Tool Hex Holder. It is super handy. It's just a question of like, are they in a need of an item like this? And I don't know the answer to that, but I think they'll at least appreciate it from a novelty aspect. It would work great as a paperweight. It's magnetized. You could also, if you had like the sidewall of your toolbox, right, or like a pegboard bench, you can have it set this direction, you know, vertically. So it's plenty strong to hold hex keys. I know because I've, again, had them for quite a while. But these two, I think, will be unique and unknown. The Koken deal, like I said, I think that flew under the radar. People aren't aware of it, so hopefully that surprises AR. That's sort of his, like, version of this, right? And then Uli gets the American drivers. They both get the zipper pouch that's also collectible. So I think, I could be totally wrong, I might have botched sizes, I might have botched color preferences, even with what's available. I really hope AR doesn't have these. Like, I felt like if he had these, I would have seen the pictures, because I felt like it would be special enough to get a picture post, not just a story. So hopefully he hasn't picked him up, and he didn't have them back in the day, and I just didn't know about it. Same with Uli, I guess he could possibly have this stuff too, but I hope he doesn't. And that's it. So I think I did okay. I hope that they like this stuff, hope they enjoy it. And with that said, I'm going to call this a video, get back inside. I got to sort my Koken stuff that came tonight. But yeah, so AR gets that stuff, Uli gets this stuff, each one of them. I think this is kind of a cool way of doing it. Again, with these out of the packaging, I can fit those pliers in there for them. And I wanted to get like dorky Texas-themed postcards. But I've not been able to find one that wasn't just like terribly ridiculously cheesy, so that may have to wait, but it's something I'll keep my eyes out for. But yeah, so Uli said he wanted American stuff, and by gosh, I think we got him American stuff. So AR, you know, he just like, oh, you don't have to do anything, whatever. Same, of course, Uli says the same thing. But the Koken deal, I hope surprises him. It's super freaking useful. Again, even if you don't ever use quarter drive with whatever you're doing, keep that solely as a pickup tool, and it's fantastic, again, especially because of the way you can contort it. So that's it. We got gifts to return favors for 2 hardcore tool collectors, which is difficult. You know, if I have to do something again, like, it's probably not going to be this cool, because it's really hard to find stuff that's kind of like unknown and actually useful. You know, like, I mean, I could send Chrysler stuff, you know, to somebody that's like into Chevys, and, you know, they're like, oh, okay, thanks, and they don't have it, they don't know about it, but they're also never going to use it, and they're not going to, like, it just takes up space, right? So this stuff, I think, worst case scenario, you know, like, you can use some of it that you don't really care for, some of it's collectible, some of it's like, oh wow, you know, never seen that. So I feel good. I think we did all right. So once again, huge thanks to both of those guys. I will have them linked down below at the top of the video description. Again, AR Abdel, he's up in New York. AR Tools on Instagram. Uli, TheJoyOfTools, he's over in Germany. Also have to give a thanks to Josh. Again, I picked up everything here except the alphas. He was nice enough to send those out, so I hope those guys like those as well. And that's about that, man. So I'm gonna get inside here before 4-wheelers fly through the shop or something crazy. But check them out online. Again, both are very active on Instagram. Alpha Gloves, if you've somehow been oblivious, that's what's always on my hand here, doing tool videos or working on the truck, whatever. There might not be this clean all the time, but that's usually what's on my hand. So check out Alpha Gloves as well. I'll go ahead and link them as well. And again, discount code of Lone Star saves you 20%. Be on the lookout. I don't know when this video will get released, but I do have some new stuff from Alpha that I'm going to share with you, so be on the lookout for that one, or go back and try to find it. And with that said, huge thanks again to Josh, and of course Uli in Germany, Abdel in New York for sending stuff to me. I hope y'all like this stuff. I hope you can make good use of it. And like I said, anything in the future, it's gonna take some time or research. So yeah, so hopefully when Uli said he wanted American stuff, you know, I don't know if this is what he had in mind, but we ran with it. We definitely ran with it. So should go over well. Again, huge thanks to those guys. Again, if you're into tools, check them out. AR gets like all the custom EDC Outlaw, Knipex Cobras. He's got tons of cool stuff. Of course, Uli's over there in Germany. He'll send me pictures of like rebranded NWS and Philo. They also have orange ones, by the way. Just all this stuff, like you hear me complain about, like color schemes and everything. I wish they offered multiple colors. Well, they do. They just rebrand them, and then it's stuff you can't easily get over here stateside, right? So that's what I got. Like I said, I did have a few other things in mind, particularly for Uli. He's a little easier to shop for since he's in Germany and requested American stuff. But like I said, just stuff is out of stock. It's not coming in. And who knows, maybe down the line we'll see some of that come into play. So with that said, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Again, tool community is pretty cool. You got a guy in New York, friends with a guy in Germany. They watch some idiot in Texas make videos about tool. For Uli, it's probably hilarious, again, seeing someone in Texas talk about German tools. AR, you know, he'd be like that super cool dude at work that you just sit there and talk tools with. And like I said, you know, there's a lot of people that have like drama and trouble and stuff. You know, it's not really an issue for me. Just, you know, people are generally pretty nice, and you know, as long as you're not like a jerk to people, I think everyone you got a heck of a lot more in common than you don't, you know. And with tools, it sort of transcends boundaries, you know, so it doesn't matter what's going on. Everybody's got that same hardware to take apart, so it's just kind of a question of what works best to do it, and, you know, what's available. Is there something better? It's kind of the never-ending quest for me. So with that said, I will quit rambling. It is hot in here. I'm going to get inside. Huge thanks to everyone here. I hope everyone else enjoyed the videos, and like I said, who knows, maybe we'll see some crazy stuff in the future. But once again, big thanks, Josh, Uli, and AR. Hope everybody's happy. Who knows, maybe Uli can, you know, rock the gloves, and he'll have some friends or co-workers be like, man, I gotta have a pair of those. And maybe Josh will wind up having to ship orders to Germany, who knows. So with that said, I sincerely appreciate them sending me stuff, and hopefully this returns the favor, and we were able to get some stuff that they didn't know about, they'll appreciate, and most importantly, they'll be happily able to employ in whatever task they're facing. So on that front, LoneStarMopars.com is a website. You can find us Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. all three at Lone Star Mopars. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, leave your thoughts. If you've got ideas for the future, you know, maybe like don't comment but DM me, you know, if you know these guys well, and be like, oh, you know, AR doesn't have this type of thing, or oh, he's a woodworker, you should have given him this item. Let me know. I did look at, I don't want to say what I looked at, but I was thinking that would be really hard to ship because it's huge. So I didn't want to like make AR deal with that, sending something to Germany. So yeah, if you got ideas for either one of these two guys, feel free to DM me. But that said, hope you enjoyed. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. I hope you enjoyed this. And this was some stuff you hadn't seen here either. So kind of is a win-win for everybody. But once again, thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. I'll catch y'all back here next Saturday for more action from the shop.